Today I am making a slow cooked lamb curry in my cast iron pot on the fire. To my pot I've added a splash of olive oil, about 1 kilogram of stewing lamb pieces, some salt and pepper, and what I'm going to be doing now for the next 10 minutes I will be browning my lamb pieces. Make sure to keep the pot on a high heat while the meat browns. I have to rehydrate with some ice cold beer because it's very hot by the fire. Okay, when the meat is nicely browned, remove it from the pot and set aside. Next I'll be adding another little splash of olive oil, and then I'm going to start by browning my vegetables. I'm adding chopped carrots, celery and onion. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of curry powder and 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped ginger, and then give it a good stir. I'm actually going to add a knob of butter as well, just for that extra yumminess. And yeah, brown the vegetables for about 10 minutes and then add the meat back into the pot. Next up, I'm adding in about 8 cloves of finely chopped garlic and about half a bottle of red wine, and then I'll be reducing the red wine in the pot for the next also about 10 minutes. And then once the wine is reduced, I'm adding in a whole bottle of tomato passata. Obviously always rinse out the leftover tomatoes with a splash of water. I'm going to be adding that into the pot, and then also I'll be topping up with some water from the kettle until everything in the pot is just about covered with liquid. My secret is to add in 1 bag of rooibos tea. As you can see, this is what it looks like. All the meat and the vegetables are just about covered in liquid. Giving it a quick little stir. The heat is still on high, and then I'm going to be covering with a lid and bringing it to a boil. Once the pot has started boiling quite rapidly, I'm just going to remove that tea bag. I'm going to fish it out with my little bamboo tongs, and then I'm going to put the lid back on, lower the heat, and let this pot simmer for about 1.5 hours. Okay, it's been about 1.5 hours. You can see it's bubbling away nicely. It's kind of like on a medium simmer. The liquid has reduced substantially and it's actually starting to thicken up a little bit. I'm going to add in a whole tin of coconut milk, but if you don't want to use coconut milk, you could just use normal milk, or you can use cream even. And now I am adding in about a handful of dried peaches and apricots, a sprig of rosemary, and about a tablespoon of cumin, as well as some salt and a dash of sugar. And it's very important not to stir the pot at this point. I'm adding in a layer of mushrooms, a layer of cauliflower and some green beans, and then to top it off, a handful of fresh mint. Cover it with a lid and leave it for another half an hour. Okay, this is about half an hour later. I've taken off the lid and now I'm taking it off the fire, and I'm going to let this rest for about 10 minutes. As you can see, it's looking silky and delicious and bubbly and just amazing. The sauce has naturally thickened. I think the coconut cream helps to do that. To accompany my lamb pot, I have prepared a pot of South African samp. Samp is like dried crushed corn kernels that you have to soak overnight and then boil on the stove the following day for 1 eternity. I really like the texture, and it pairs really well with this kind of a lamb stew or lamb curry. Otherwise you could also just make some rice or mashed potatoes or sweet potato mash, or even some pita bread and some bolts. Everything would work quite well as a vessel for this beautiful sauce. And yeah, I feel I am dishing up a really big bowl for myself. I just feel like I've put in so much effort into this dish, and my eyes are always slightly bigger than my tummy. But I only eat 1 meal a day, and so it's usually a pretty substantial one. I'd just like to thank everybody for watching. Please try this wonderful recipe whenever you have the time. This pot is going to last me for a couple of days. There's some rainy weather forecast, so this is going to be even better the next day. Tasting this curry, this is definitely one of the best versions I've ever made, and thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye!